Welcome to episode 28 of DomsPod. I'm your host, Dom Armando, for this special report of DomsPod and everything in sports right now. I mean, the Mets are collapsing. We got the Knicks winning the NBA Cup, not raising their banner. The Islanders looking good, but it also looks like they could be slumping a little bit. Everything's going right, and I'll have all the coverage for you here on this episode 28 of DomsPod. So let's get right into it, shall we? So in the NFL, it has been a weird season as the New York Giants just signed Justin Tucker. Wow. What a start to this podcast. Justin Tucker is the new kicker for the New York Giants. I am shocked by that just now. I just got that tweet. Holy crap. And he's gone through a lot of investigations with, I don't want to say it really, with the massages and stuff like that. He's a new Deshaun Watson now, apparently, but okay. At least we can get a kicker that doesn't miss the ball. So, okay, why don't we get into the NFL week? Let's start off with this. The Indianapolis Colts bringing Phil Rivers out of retirement was a genius move. I mean, this team lost Anthony Richardson probably for the year, and now Daniel Jones. And the injuries just keep rallying up for the Colts. And with Riley Leonard now, I mean, I feel bad for the guy, dude, because he got the opportunity to play. He didn't play bad. It's just they got Phillip Rivers, who played good in his first game back. It's just the offense just couldn't do much around him. And ever since any NFL team that's been able to stop Jonathan Taylor, it's been a problem for the Colts. Ever since their win in overseas against the Atlanta Falcons, where JT had one of the best games you can ever have in fantasy, 49 points. I know that perfectly because I had him in fantasy. But ever since then, he has not produced over 20 points in fantasy, and he's had some bad games, I can say that right now, from a guy who has him in fantasy. I mean, this is a time that Indianapolis has just been trying to figure out the quarterback situation, and Phil Rivers played fine. I mean, their defense they didn't allow a touchdown. They just allowed all field goals, and they lost still. I don't know how that's possible. But this Indianapolis Colts team is on the verge of making the playoffs. This team was the 1 seed at one point in the NFL. Now, ever since then, the loss to the Steelers, which pretty much changed their entire season, this team has plummeted. And I said that in my podcast earlier. I said this Colts team is going to have a season where when they were 3-0, that their schedule was relatively easy with Daniel Jones. Now when it's starting to get harder, Colts are not playing as well. And they haven't been playing as great. They lost to the Chiefs. They lost to the Steelers. They lost to the Jags in a big game, too. And now they have a big game this week for the division hopes alive, basically. So, basically on the Indianapolis Colts, I mean, it was interesting to see Phil Rivers come out of retirement, and should be interesting to go down the road with them. That's all I got to really say about this. And listen, the Indianapolis Colts are a team that got a relatively easy schedule. I'm going to put that there. Very easy. Very. Do I think this Indianapolis Colts team can still make the playoffs? Yes. But they must win this week, and they need some help, though. They need I'm going to check who they play this week. I think they play Houston, I believe. That's the last time I checked. Every NFL, there's no more buys, by the way, in the NFL. So this week's a little different. The Rams play the Seahawks on Thursday. Eagles have a chance to clinch the division versus the Commanders, that game I'm going to talk to in a little bit. Packers play the Bears. That's a huge game. That is a game that I would want to pay to watch. Two teams fighting for the division. Playing it simple. And it should be a showdown. Pretty much in the the games aren't great this week. The Buccaneers-Panthers game, I'm really looking forward to watch this week. Jaguars play the Broncos. Broncos have a chance to clinch the division this week with a win. But if they fail, the Chargers odds shoot through the roof a little bit if they win, too. The Indianapolis Colts actually are home on Monday night taking on the 49ers. That is a game that Indianapolis has to win. This is their last non-division game of the year because they play the Jags the following week and then the Texans. Obviously, there's no more buys in the NFL, I just said. But the Jags and Texans are two games that you need to win. So basically, I'm going to tell you right now, Indianapolis, if they want the division, got to win out. If they want a wild card spot, 2 out of 3 maybe at best. They can lose one, but they need Houston to really. As I'm looking at the playoff picture right now, so many teams eliminated, including the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll get right into that after I talk about the Indianapolis Colts a little more. And teams. There are only 3 teams out of a wild card spot right now fighting for their hopes right now. 2 in the AFC. Usually we would see going to week 3, 6. This year, with the amount of bad teams, only 3 at max. 5 in total. The Cowboys, I'm gonna go through every team out of the playoffs, and I'll go through the draft order too. The Dallas Cowboys. This is a team that's division hopes are very slim. I'm gonna put that like that. Very slim. Can they still get into the playoffs mathematically? Absolutely. Am I gonna say that they're not gonna make it? No. I don't think the Dallas Cowboys are gonna make it. I would love to see the Dallas Cowboys. I would actually like to see the Cowboys in the playoffs coming from a Giants fan. Just saying. They're a fun team to watch, man. I think I'd rather see them over Philly. I mean, they're going to have to root for the Commanders, which I actually think after this week, the Commanders are going to pull an upset. I wouldn't call out an upset in that game. And then we're going to go to the 9th seed, the Carolina Panthers, 7-7. That's a team that hopes I don't think are – well, they had the division alive. The wild card hopes are just flat out done. I don't think they ever – with that loss to the 49ers and – they beat the Packers, but it's going to hurt. It's going to be really tough if they want to get in the wild card. I'm just going to say it like that. And then we got the Detroit Lions. I mean, this is a team right now that with Micah Parsons now out. But the problem is, though, the Packers did take the season series. Sweeping them is going to be tough getting in. They play the Steelers this week. The Packers are going to go to Chicago to play the Bears, who are 10-4. Very good part by the Lions here. Definitely could happen. Am I going to rule out? Am I going to say this could come down to week 18? Yes. I do believe the Lions are going to they're going to be sticked in by week 18. And for the Vikings, let's look at the schedule. And then we're going to go through the teams in the playoffs. The 7th seed right now currently, the Green Bay Packers, a team that lost Micah Parsons this week. Tough. Very tough, I got to say. That is a guy that you do not want to lose, my friends. He's one of the best NFL players. Listen, he hasn't had like the greatest year in the NFL. I don't think he's like having a Myles Garrett year. Oh, no shot. But the Packers is going to be a big loss. I'm going to say it now. Lost because Jaden Reed dropped that ball and lost by 0.56 in fantasy. Tough. But this Packers team is definitely going to fight for it. I think they definitely have a shot at making the playoffs, and it's definitely realistic. Now we're going to go to the San Francisco 49ers, a team that's been very banged up this year, but somehow still 10-4. And the reason why is Robert Saleh. He's done a great job as a defensive coordinator for the 49ers. And their offense has done a great job with Brock Purdy. I think Brock Purdy's still elite, in my opinion. There's probably, I would say in the NFL, probably 14 quarterbacks that are elite, and Brock Purdy's one of them. And George Kittle getting back from his injury was big time. A lot of things for the 49ers that are clicking on offense, and it's working. And they had a rough start. They had a decent start, then they got in a little slump, and now they're right back on track. No doubt about it. The 49ers have won. Let's see. They have won their last Ever since I lost to the Texans, they've won their last 6 games in a row. And if they didn't win that, they would be 4-4. Big turnaround by the 49ers this year. Over the last couple of weeks. Barely beat the Cardinals. They walked off the field goal on that. Jaguars, they lost to. Buccaneers, they lost to by 2 scores. It's not a good look there. Buccaneers are a team, actually, we're going to go to them now, and we'll go to Seattle now. Seattle, a team that offense is very inconsistent. I'm going to use that word. The reason why I'm going to use it inconsistent, ladies and gentlemen, is because it is very inconsistent. I'm actually going to video here right now. How many times have we seen the Seattle team either put up, one of the best performances you ever see out of this offense and murdering teams? But then you see a performance like they looked awful out there. Awful. Seattle, and their offense didn't do much. I'm going to be honest with you. Their offense didn't do much. They just got in field goal range for Jason Myers, and he just kicked them. They scored a total of 6 field goals, and they won that game. Didn't score a touchdown, nothing else. Just field goals. And that's my problem with Seattle. If they are like this in the playoffs, this is a team that's very good. They have JSN, who's looking like, I don't think he's going to break Calvin Johnson's record, but he's having one of the best receiver years. You'll see. I'm going to say it now. He's having like a Cooper Kupp year from 2021. A breakout year, which is his teammate now, actually. But I'm going to say this right now. I do not see the Seattle Seahawks, if they're going to play like what they played on Sunday, winning a playoff game. And now we know that the playoffs are one and done. So if you play terrible, you're done. Just like that. Am I saying the Seattle Seahawks are going to not win a playoff game this year? No. They can definitely win a playoff game. Their offense has to play really well, though, with Sam Darnold playing back to his MVP level from last year. Great signing by the Seattle Seahawks, and I'm not going to say the Vikings are in a horrible situation right now with J.J. McCarthy. I get it. He's been playing terrible, but I am still high on him. 9. Because he's young, he's learning. This is his first full year. I get it. The injuries have killed it, and I would still believe. I still believe in him if I'm a Vikings. I'm just coming from a part Michigan fan too. I believe J.J. McCarthy will still be successful in the NFL. Yes, I'm saying that right now, and I'm not going to be wrong with it. I do believe J.J. McCarthy will be successful and be a top 15 quarterback in a year or two. I'm going to video here right now. How many times have we... Sorry, on that. Not sure what that is. I just get like this weird like thing that just comes up. I don't know. On the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, this is another team that I want to talk about. Very inconsistent, too. Offense lost me against the Saints. Lost me a knockout pool. It's been a rough couple weeks. I have to say, it's been a rough couple weeks for me in the football in the betting wise, kind of. I don't like to say that though, that I'm 15 and I do it, but I lost my knockout pool. I was down to 6 people left, and I messed up taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Thinking I should have took Seattle that week. It was rough. What else? Kansas City Chiefs. I want to talk about this a lot. I have an essay to talk about. I believe the Kansas City Chiefs are not going to be, the dynasty's not over. Yes, you heard that right. I don't believe the Kansas City Chiefs dynasty is over. Not one bit. I think this is going to be the restart of the dynasty. Listen, Mahomes went down with that ACL injury. I get it. I get it. The Chiefs missed the playoffs this year. This team, I bet, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Kelsey's going to re-sign for one more year and call it his last year to go. Chiefs are going to entirely revamp this offensive line, which they need to do, in my opinion. It does not look great. Juwan Taylor, awful. Everything else about that offensive line, not giving Mahomes any time. I think the Chiefs are going to try to revamp this entire offensive line, except treat Humphrey. I think they draft Jeremiah Love. I believe Isaiah Pacheco gets traded this offseason. I believe Hollywood Brown walks in free agency. I believe this entire wide receiver room is going to be completely different. I bet Mahomes is going to try to bring in Tyreek Hill. Don't think that's going to happen, but it could be realistic. Chiefs need a little wide receiver help, and I think letting Hollywood Brown walk in free agency is the right decision, in my opinion. But without further ado, I mean, the defense needs to. They're gonna need to add like 2 or 3 D tackles, one more, maybe one more linebacker. I think they should trade away Nick Bolton. I know he's been very good, but you want value out of him. I get it. You're getting old. This team's getting old. That's my problem. You want to get younger. You want to get maybe more draft picks. You want to maybe get a guy who's underrated and young. That's what the Chiefs should be doing right now in the offseason. They should not be keeping like Chris. I get it. Keeping Chris Jones, right decision to do, in my opinion. He's a guy, though, that's very different compared to like Nick Bolton, stuff like that. Guys that are like, kind of inconsistent. Nick Bolton's a little inconsistent recently. I think they should trade him, in my opinion. I think they should get a new kicker, Harrison Butker. I think his time. I think this entire Chiefs team is going to look completely different to you guys next year. 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. Because Andy Reid's job, I don't think, is anywhere near the line. I think it's the restart. And the Chiefs, this is a rebuild year. One rebuild year, and they're going to be right back in it. I'm letting you all know the Chiefs dynasty is nowhere near done. And this is coming from a person who hates the Chiefs. I'm just letting everyone know that. Jesus Christ, it is hot up here, I have to say. I'm just taking off my hat right now. It is hot. I think that's pretty much it for the NFL right now. Oh, I need to talk about this. Myles Garrett is having the best defensive season in the NFL history right now. I get it. He's about to break the sack record. That's obvious to some people. But I believe outside of corners, any other defensive position, we're watching a guy who's about to have 27 sacks. He's going to have a big margin this week. And I'm letting you know that Shedeur Sanders is, with this offense now next year, the Browns are going to look like a team that might contend. I think they're going to let go of Kevin Stefanski too. The reason why is because I don't think the relationship with Shedeur Sanders and him looks great. And I think Shedeur Sanders should be your franchise QB, in my opinion. The reason why is he looks like he's having fun. And he looks like this team is playing much better around him. And he looks like a guy that you got in the 5th round because of his attitude and stuff like that. Doesn't even look like a bad football player at all. And I was a guy coming in saying, this guy is not going to be successful in the NFL. I said Travis Hunter was not going to be successful in the NFL. Maybe it's just the Deion effect, I thought. I mean, Travis Hunter did not have a great rookie year, in my opinion, at all. But I'm going to say, though, Shedeur Sanders is going to be a guy that the Browns are going to rely on in 2 to 3 years. And I think they could make a playoff appearance. Is he going to be like, I'm just going to put this on the spot. Is he going to be like a guy we all want to like root for him? Probably not. He's not going to be like a guy like that's going to like run the NFL. He's going to be a guy that's mid. Probably like a Bryce Young. I'm going to put it like that. Inconsistent, I should say. He's not going to be the best. He's not going to be the worst. He's just going to be in the middle, in my opinion. That's my take on Shedeur Sanders. And Myles Garrett, he's going to break T.J. Watt and Michael Strahan. It was Michael Strahan's record for a little bit. I think it's still. I think Watt is tied with 22 and a half sacks. Gets one. If Myles Garrett gets one sack this week, he breaks the record hands down. Still one of the best defensive seasons we're going to see out of Myles Garrett, and he was worth every penny of that contract, in my opinion. And the Browns still lose by 3 or more scores. Incredible. All right, so I think it's time that we change the subject a little bit. Now, you guys heard me make a couple of videos about this. The New York Mets. Everything has been a disaster. I get it. You signed Luke Weaver. All right, I'm going to go through the positives, and then I'm going to go through the negatives because I want to then rage bait about it a little bit. Here's what the Mets signed. Jorge Polanco. They traded for Marcus Semien for Brandon Nimmo. They got Devin Williams and Luke Weaver. Signed both of the Yankees closers. And now they're in the mix for Cody Bellinger. And now I'm going to go to the negatives. Losing Pete Alonso. I have said this on my podcast for so long. Pete Alonso has to be a New York Met in March. I would have said in April, whatever, by opening day time. The reason why is, I get it, his defense hasn't been great. You can't replace his power at all. Pete Alonso is one of the best power hitters you will see in the MLB. And the reason why is simple. And I'm gonna explain it well. The dude can hit for 40 home runs and drive in nearly like 130 RBIs. He has power. His defense, I'm going to be honest, the reason why probably the Mets didn't sign him is the locker room issues, and his defense has been great. Why not you throw in a guy that I've been high on for years now, Ryan Clifford? The reason why I've been so high on Ryan Clifford is because he's just like Pete Alonso, and he can hit. He can hit and he can field. Do I think the Mets will call him up within a year or two? Yes, absolutely. They can't have Jorge Polanco play first. I think they're best at putting him at DH, putting Cody Bellinger at first. We're calling out one of your prospects. Carson Bedge will play center field. I am totally fine with that. I think it was time to get him up. And I think if Tyrone Taylor doesn't hit right, his defense is great, though. I have to say Tyrone Taylor. I am a huge fan of that. Brett Beatty will play third base. I agree with that. Totally. Lindor playing shortstop. I agree with that, obviously. But now here I'm going to go into a little bit of negatives. Trading Brandon Nimmo. I get it. The locker room was a problem and stuff like that. But for Marcus Semien, though, straight up, I think you could have gotten maybe 2 prospects or 2. I get it. Marcus Semien is a really good offender, but the bat and his age and his contract are going to kill the Mets a little bit when this MLB adds a salary cap. And also another guy that I was talking about on my podcast that the Mets needed to sign, Edwin Diaz. Most consistent closer. What is my number one word that I've used on this podcast so much? Consistent. Consistency. Why have the Mets let him go, in my opinion? Why did they do that? Why did they let go of a guy who will probably have a 40-plus saves with the Dodgers, and he's been very consistent over the years? He had a 1.69 ERA last year, and you let the guy walk. And the Mets were cheap on not offering him what he wanted. I would have offered, here's what I've done if I was a GM. Here's what I would have done as a GM of the New York Mets. I would have re-signed Pete Alonso. I get it, the locker room issues. I would get it together with all of them together, and I would settle this beef. Pete Alonso, 7 years, $1 55. Actually, 180. Next thing I would have done, I would have re-signed Edwin Diaz. I would have done 4 years, $100 million for sure. The reason why is that guy is very consistent. I've been talking, just said again, consistent, and he can do it all. I would have kept Brandon Nimmo. I would have traded Acuna, McNeil. I would have kept Vientos, but only for his bat, not his fielding. His fielding is terrible. I would trade McNeil, Acuna. I would leave Ronnie Mauricio because I want him to get more reps. I don't think he got enough playing time, I'm going to be honest with you. I would re-sign Starling Marte on a 1-year deal just to finish his career. I would let Winker walk, let Stanek walk. I'm going to be honest with you, I would have signed Devin Williams. And I don't mean to be like a crazy person for saying I would have signed Devin Williams. The reason why is he's going to be a good setup man for Edwin Diaz. Another guy that I'm disagreeing with the Mets letting walk is Tyler Rogers. I get it. His contract was expensive, $50 million over 3 years, $45 million. It's tough to re-sign for a reliever. But the dude is a guy that throws weirdly, and his velocity, his upward direction on his pitch is pretty good. And that's a guy I would want to have relief. Ryan Helsley, I was thinking about this, but it was probably the right decision to let him walk, honestly. The dude couldn't pitch well, and I think he wants a starting role, in my opinion. Go for him. I would have traded Joe Ryan for Jonah Tong. Straight up, no doubt about it. The reason why I would have done that, Joe Ryan's been one of the best. Jonah Tong last year wasn't MLB ready yet. I get it. He needs to develop a little more. And that's a Twins team now that's been is going to be rebuilding for the next 2 to 3 years, I would say. Maybe 4. And they can use a guy like Jonah Tong in the future, in my opinion. And this would be a perfect fit for the Twins. And by the way, I am nowhere near trading Jet Williams or any of those guys. I want Jet to develop a little more, in my opinion, and then move him to like third base, play him somewhere around. That's what I would do in the development of it. So that's what I would have done as the GM of New York Mets. Fire David Stearns. He's done a terrible job, David Stearns, in my opinion. I think that's about it. I got to really talk about the New York Mets. I don't really want to get into much really about them. Let's go on the New York Islanders now. Let's go into hockey, and then we'll get into them. The team that I think probably looks the best in New York by a mile. And then we'll talk about actually, you know what? Let's talk about this. I've seen this report a lot, and I get it. A lot of people are going to say is the Giants absolutely should trade the first overall pick if they get it. They don't need it. They would be fine with drafting 6. And they're going to be the best first overall team since ever. I'm just going to put that ever. Get the first overall pick. They were in almost every single game pretty much impossible. And they started, Russell Wilson started 0-3, then started Dart. It was just a train wreck of a season. Firing Shane Bowen was the right decision. Dayball, I guess, looking good, but Kafka's not the answer, I don't think, at all. And you cut Younghoe Koo, thank God, he's terrible. But I'm going to be honest with you right now. The Giants are going to be a team we see next year that's going to be like the New England Patriots. They have so many similarities, like Dart going into his second year, like Drake May. Drake May didn't play a full year. Drake May didn't play a full year last year. He played He started like week 6. Didn't play great. Was just getting learned of it. And now he's balling out, looking like an MVP guy in his second year already. New England found their guy. They look good right now. Everything about that. Am I going to be realistically on the Giants trading the first overall pick? I think they should be trading it to the New York Jets. And now a lot of Jet fans are going to be like, because there's been a lot of reports about Joe Burrow leaving. Would you make an offer on Joe Burrow? My answer is absolutely not. I get it. He's good. The Jets suck at drafting. It is a realistic thing to do. I would, if the Jets trade all their picks that they got for Sauce and Quidden just for Joe Burrow, they're idiots. Idiots. They need a team that's going to be realistically. Justin Fields was absolutely not the answer. Absolutely not. Maybe the opposite. He was probably one of the worst decisions the Jets have made. One of the worst quarterbacks in recent memory. Tyron Taylor's not been great. Brady Cook's not the answer. The Jets absolutely need to get Fernando Mendoza. I don't think the Raiders, if the Raiders do draft a quarterback, it's going to be a late round guy, I think. Because the reason why is, I think they build up on their defense. And I'm going to be honest with you, I see the Raiders trading for Tua Tagovailoa. Recently benched today, by the way. Recently benched. And yeah, I do see them benching him. I'm at getting him, but the value won't be crazy much. Now, first of all, I would say the Raiders need an offensive lineman. They can do that in the first round. I think they trade Geno. I think obviously they cut Geno. No doubt about that. But they should also be looking at building their offensive line and defense a little bit better, in my opinion. Max Crosby's really good. Everything about that edge rusher position is really good. They just need to fix their offense. Gentry's going to be great, man. The wide receiver room is awful. Awful. Brock Bowers is going to be great. They just need to fill up the wide receiver room, offensive line, and quarterback, which pretty much half the field, to be honest with you. So great. All right, let's go into the Islanders now. The New York Islanders. What a roller coaster of a year it's been. And it's been one fun year, absolutely. But I'm not going to be I haven't been really excited about this team recently because of the loss of Bo Horvat and Kyle Palmieri. This team went from, I was thinking maybe a cup contender now, to maybe putting on hold. The offense hasn't been as same as with Bo Horvat. And Barzal's playing differently. He's not been looking, they didn't play great versus Detroit, and I don't think their offense has been clicking at all. And if they can get to overtime or a shootout, they are going to be golden in that. And that's been an Islanders problem for years, man. Years. And they finally fixed it firing with Matthew Darsh. And Patrick Wallace fixed the shootout room. I mean, Heinemann's got one of the best shots I think I've seen. 3 for 3 on shootout attempts. And he could just put it left corner or right corner perfectly. Horvat's going to kill this team if he's going to be out for 2 weeks. If he's back before Christmas, after Christmas, against the Rangers, that would be huge for the Islanders. If not, I think they should make a trade. Get a forward. I'm not going to say trade for Elias Pettersson. No. I think they need to get a guy, anybody. I'm not being specific right now. That will help this locker room a little bit and generate a little bit of offense. Listen, the penalty kill has been good. Power play's been a little struggling. They just can't find the back of the net on it. And yeah, that's pretty much it I got to really say about them. This is a team that's going to be very fun. Matthew Schaefer's been great. Matthew Barzal's been great. I mean, Mayfield took a dumb penalty after scoring a nice goal. I'm not worried about that at all. It's just you can't let Detroit score multiple power play goals on you. Listen, we own them. Not going to be wrong on that. So that's really much it I got to say about the Islanders. Now, for all you Ranger fans out there, I'm going to talk about them a little bit. The Rangers should absolutely be in on Gavin McKenna. Without a doubt. The reason why I think they should be in on Gavin McKenna. This team has been just atrocious. Can't score. Defense doesn't look great outside of Gavrikov and Fox, which Fox is on IR right now. This team needs to get rid of Savannah Jag or Panarin, I think. I think they should be in a rebuild situation for the next 2 years. The reason why is they need a better prospect pool. They need to fire Chris Drury as soon as possible. He's given out a couple contracts that I think are going to go down as one of the worst. Savannah Jag's ranked the 4th worst contract in the NHL. Number 1, by the way, guys, is Phil Grubauer, and it's without doubt one of the worst. So, that guy has not been consistent at all. And do I see the Rangers? I see them getting rid of Trocheck too. I see the Rangers breaking everything up. Everything. And I wouldn't blame them one bit. This team needs a rebrand. They need something else to change. They need cap room for next year. So I can definitely see the Rangers going in a different direction and tanking. And I think they should be. And that's coming from an Islander fan too. Oh my God, she cracked my neck. The reason why I think they should do that is because they need Gavin McKenna would fit perfectly with Artemi Panarin on that power play and get a younger guy in. Gabe Parubi would be a good call, but he hasn't been consistent. Yeah. He hasn't done much really, and the Rangers could use a little bit more. All right, let's go into the NBA, and then we'll wrap this thing up. The New York Knicks winning the NBA Cup is something I was going to say pointless before yesterday. Now I'm looking at this. Every fan now is like pumped up now about this team. Now I get it. Both teams that have won the NBA Cup have lost in the first round. Does this mean the Knicks are going to lose in the first round? Absolutely not. The East is so easy this year. The Pacers aren't going to make it. Celtics aren't going to make it. The Bucks are not as great. The only team that you're going to be really fighting for is the Pistons and the Cavaliers. Those are 2 teams that the Knicks should be obviously nervous about and hopefully don't play them. They're going to play one of them in the conference finals if they make it. Now, Mike Brown has done a great job, I think. Jordan Clarkson's done great. Brunson looks great. Karl Anthony Towns' defense is going to needs to step up a little bit, but I'm fine with that. They should be after Dante DiVincenzo. I think adding him into this Knicks rotation would be a great fit. Josh Hart having the Villanova Knicks, obviously, bringing him back right before the playoffs. The Knicks are a team right now. They're not going to raise a banner. Shocked by that. I thought they would have been raising a banner on Friday night. They are saving room for something bigger, an NBA championship. Now, I'm going to say this right now. If they get to the finals, they're going to play the Thunder. They're going to play the Thunder. And it's going to be one of the best. It's going to be a very tough series. Absolutely. And am I going to get on this podcast and say the Knicks are screwed? No. They're going to take them to 7 games. But it's going to be tough winning in OKC. I'm going to be completely honest with you. That's got to be one of the most nerve-wracking stadiums to play in. And to shoot a free throw in, it's MSG. And then it goes, I would say OKC. But The West is so much tougher than the East this year, and it's not even funny. The Magic are also a team, but I feel like the Knicks could run over them so easily. They got more experience. They got more talent, really. Than the. I'm not no disrespect to Orlando. They're a good team, but I think the Knicks have the more advantage of the playoff experience, and they're going to have guys off the bench that are going to step up too. I think Tyler Kolek, the guy out of Marquette, former Big East guy, killed St. John's too. We'll get to them actually in a little bit. I mean, St. John's' schedule now, outside of Kentucky, is going to be a little bit easier now. I'm just going to say this now. If they get to March Madness this year, as like a 4 seed, something like that, totally fine with that. That team can win a game any given night. They can lose any given night if their defense doesn't show up. All right, back to the Knicks. Tyler Kolek, he's going to be a guy that I think the Knicks are going to rely on stepping up a little bit. I know he's small. He is a small guy, but he could be. Another guy I could see is Jakob Paul. He's another guy that can maybe get a couple rebounds if Mitchell Robinson or Karl Anthony Towns goes down. And the two big men that the Knicks have are pretty solid. I'm going to say pretty solid guys that can get rebounds and maybe put up layups. The shooting is great. Brunson, Hart can hit some, get rebounds too. Bridges can hit shots. He's mid-range. He's usually mid-range shot. OG Anunoby, I'm missing a guy. Deuce McBride's really good on defense, I have to say. Very good defender. DiVincenzo. I think I said all of them. Claxton's a guy that you can get out of defense too. Very consistent too. So Knicks are a very good defensive team this year, and they definitely can make a run to the NBA Finals. And this NBA Cup, whatever, that I found out, that I knew about it, is going to only motivate the New York Knicks, in my opinion. And you can see on the Insta posts is that they look like they're having fun. And obviously they were in Las Vegas, so probably a lot of fun there. And I think that's pretty much it I've covered on this podcast. College. I have to get into this. College football playoffs are going to be electric on Saturday. I'm going to fill out my bracket right now. Let's do it. Oregon is taking on JMU. This is my college football player. Damn, just going to re-record that. This is my college football playoff predictions. The first matchup we have is Oregon take on JMU. It's not even funny to see this. I'm gonna take Oregon in this one, fair and square. And I'm gonna take them minus 20.5 in this one, fair. Oklahoma taking on Alabama. I'm only gonna do the first round matchups, by the way. I'm gonna take Alabama. I know Oklahoma beat them in the regular season. I still think Alabama, after that loss to the Georgia in the SEC championship, are looking at this and they're just like, we need to step up our game and we need to do it now. The offensive line looked terrible for Alabama. Ty Simpson had no time to throw it. And also, give me Alabama in that one. Ole Miss is taking on Tulane. Not going to disrespect Tulane on this. But I am going to go with Ole Miss, even though they lost Lane Kiffin. Listen, I don't think they're going to win the next round. This is coming from an Ole Miss fan. I don't see that happening to them. What's the other matchup? Miami taking on... trying to think. Texas Tech? No, it's not Texas Tech. I'm just not going to. They take on Oh, they take on Texas A&M. Texas A&M is going to win that one, I think. Fair and square. That will do it for this episode of DomsPod. Like always, my friends, I like to say this all the time. Thank you very much for tuning in for those people. And it's a joy doing this for you. Listen, guys, these next before Christmas and New Year's are going to be very packed for me. I'm going to have one of my cousins come on, my grandma come on with one of my cousins because it's going to be Italian themed Christmas recap from over the years. I'm gonna put that now, and then I'm gonna get, you know what? I'll get my dad on one more, and I'll maybe try to get my mom on one. Trying to fill the entire squad up. Why not? LeBron, Wade, Bosch. Why not? Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in to this episode of DomsPod. Like always, my friends, stay legendary, and thank you for tuning in.